All right, so it kicked me off. But anyway, what I was saying is when we grow up, we become women who, like, really still seeking these attachments and these bonds. And so because we long for affection, that energy, that effort, and all of that we give, it's not going to the rightful place. It's going to the area of our life where we're trying to get a relationship with a man, instead of using all that time, affection, and attention, and nurturing and cultivating and developing into the children that we bear, are giving birth to, are, that's in our lives, however we become mothers. And what that does is that it creates a very hard situation and experience for that young male, that little boy. They grow up, they don't know how to communicate because nobody really developed them and taught them how to express themselves, how to, communicate. And they experience with women is just, y'all, we got to repair that area, because then again, on the mama side, while we raising these boys by ourselves, we, having to be the woman and the man, it's a very bipolar experience. I can't say it, no better, but I do know this, is that when we encounter these men, when they become older, what we end up experiencing is situations where they don't know how to communicate. And then as a result, the woman tends to feel neglected and, like, this relationship is not giving me what I need or what I, deserve and want. And so I say that to say, when those thoughts come to our mind, married women, I'm talking to married women. I'm not talking about a fornicating situation. I'm talking about married women that's in a marriage or a relationship, or a single woman that is being courted by a man, or for whatever. We have to start, when those thoughts come up in the marriage, like, they not giving me, what I need and what I want. We have to start thinking from a place of grace and a place of the Bible say, in all things get understanding. And so we have to develop an understanding of how our development has affected us. Because it's in understanding that that young man didn't have a man in the house to show him how to be a man. That man did not have a role model on what it looked like to effectively communicate in his masculinity. And so these things that we in the Black community, we're going to have to work through and get better tools with dealing with. And we're going to have to create these safe places for these men where they can start opening up and talking to us, and women, we gonna have to do the type of healing on ourselves to where when they open up or they make us mad, and when they open up and they make us mad or something, or there's conflict, we don't go to using what they shared with us from a vulnerable place and attacking them and throwing it up in their face. Like, that's a no-go. We have to, if there are women that when we do that, and I'm sure we've been guilty of it, some of us, not all, because again, I'm not talking to the community or the woman and man who have grown up, hey cousin, with those, in them environments where they had the tools they need. No, I'm talking to the vulnerable community who did not have that. Oh, nothing. Just sitting here talking, running my mouth about depression and and the battle with depression in the males, and how us as women and as females in the community, whether we sisters, aunties, mothers, or wives or girlfriends, like how we have to start normalizing men and creating that safe place for men to really articulate how they feel without us telling them how they feel. I am guilty of that. I will, and that's another thing too. I want to say that. So I've experienced that, like a guy saying, you trying to tell me how I feel. You know why a woman tries to tell how, or make up in their mind how somebody feel? I tell you why. It's because 9 times out of 10, that male have not communicated everything that needs to be communicated for the woman, the female, not to draw her own conclusion. Can I get somebody to admit that, please? That sometimes, and this goes back to the man not really ever really being taught in his youth on how to properly communicate and express his emotions and articulate his emotions. God be dealing with me with that about my son in his development. Like, I'm a female, so when I get upset, it's like, what females do with this one. And God is dealing with me on how I manage myself with him, so that my reaction is not this yelling, which causes the boy child to shut down. Because what could he do with the authority, over him? So that it causes them to shut down. And I started noticing it in my son. And so what God started having me to do, instead of me, when he does something wrong that he know he ain't supposed to do, that would normally, make me yell and all this and that. Well, now it's no yelling. Now is you violate, you do something you're not supposed to do, you give me 100 jumping jacks, period. Because now I ain't even got to yell at you about it. Now you done did it to yourself. And what God showed me is that I had to just get that type of something in place so that I could stay in my place of control of self and self-mastery, where I'm not yelling and going all off, causing him to shut down and be quiet. And then when I find that there are something, like there's times when he'll say, mama, some, and I guess, I do wear my expressions on my face sometimes. Just being a single mama, it is overwhelming at times, okay? So sometimes my kids will call, like say my name, and it's not that, oh, yes, my dear. It's not that. It is what? And I'm just being real. And it's not because I don't love my kids. It's not that I don't, want to meet my kids' needs. It's because I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm doing what they call invisible labor. What is invisible labor? Invisible labor is when you're doing things and you're thinking about the things that have to be done beforehand so that you don't drop the ball because everything fall on you. So my mind is constantly working and doing something even though my body not. And that shit is draining. Okay? So when my kids, it's like, what? So when he see that reaction, he'll be like, never mind. And of course, I don't feel good when he say never mind, because now I feel like, oh my God, my reaction just made him feel like, he can't come to me and this and that. So what I do is I'll say, look, I apologize. I didn't mean to respond that way. I see you felt my irritation, or you see me look irritated. But what you have to say is important to me. So tell me what it is you wanted to say. And he'll be like, nah, nothing, never mind. Nah, it's nothing. So now, at this point, now I'm going to force him to tell me what he wanted to say. Because I have to teach him to speak up as a individual who have a need that need to be met. Okay? Because all of our needs are important. Whether society feel like it's not, it is. So, we'll go through that, and then and he'll end up telling me. There's been times I had to get forceful, like, hey, I'm going to count to 3, and you better tell me what it was you wanted to say, or it's going to be a problem. But, and I'll tell him why. Because I need you to say how you feel in a nice way, no matter what somebody feel about it. Period. Okay? So, mothers, if you experience that, if you, as raising a boy child, you're encountering that shutdown, because what we can't do is we cannot continue the dysfunction of epigenetics and continue to raise men that don't know how to communicate. We can't. And so we have to break that pattern and do something different. And that's one thing we can do. But single moms, it is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. We have a task of raising men, little boys, that will someday be someone's husband or someone's father. Okay? Or brother, or whatever title they are in the nuclear family, in the family aspect, our society. And they have to be able to talk. They have to be able to communicate. They have to be able to express how they feel without shutting down, because most of our black men today, they just shut down. They don't talk about things that's bothering them. They don't express it. And even if they talking to their homeboys about stuff, there may be little areas they may tread in that is, personal. But for the most part, the average black man is not really articulating his internal fears and anxieties and worries and panics about his experiences and fears of life. And so Black women, that's what we have to do. We got to create that. We got to make that safe place. We do. We really, really do. And we have to change that dynamic by first starting with our sons, because we have to raise the kind of sons that we still desire to be, the kind of man that we as women today desire to marry. Like, that don't make sense to me, that as women we desire a man to be a certain way, but yet we not even raising our sons to be that way. Help it make sense. Like, it is what it is. Most of us, when we get, not again, this is not to the community that this don't apply to. I'm talking about a very specific community. Okay? And more than likely, if you kind of like that middle class community, or you grew up middle class, it's probably not going, you won't identify. I'm talking about the troubles of the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? The hard knock life. And everybody don't know that, okay? Not everybody experienced that. But those who have, they understand. And yeah, we have these kids, these sons, and unfortunately, we end up being the only one to raise them. So if we as women make a conscious decision to go all the way through with pregnancy, and we end up being single moms, at the point, when you make the decision to have unprotected sex with a man, you are making the decision to have a baby. No, I ain't. Yes, you are. Especially now, because where you going to be going? To California somewhere, trying to go to a state where they do abortions? And even then, there's policies that's on the books to combat that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we have to be aware of our thinking and aware of how we're not thinking. And we need to be aware and mindful of the outcome of our behaviors. And when you have unprotected sex with somebody, and I've been guilty of it, okay? To me, the least of your worries is becoming pregnant, because you could get the big A, okay? But if you have unprotected sex, you're putting yourself in a position where you will end up pregnant. Period. And if you're having unprotected sex with a man who is not responsible with his own children that he have, the 3-4 kids he already have, more than likely your child is about to be number 4-5 added to the list that he's not taking care of. And so when you make that decision to have that baby, then you also got to make the decision to do whatever you need to do to make sure that you raise a child that is productive, that is kind, that is able to protect himself and protect other human beings. And be a contribution to planet Earth, and not somebody who just take from planet Earth. And so that's a lot of responsibility that we're really not really thinking about, or we really don't know what all that involves, because we never really had nobody to be that responsible with us. And we never been taught to be that responsible with ourselves and others. But it is a responsibility. It's a responsibility on how you date as a single mama. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. No single mama have no business moving no man in her house without vetting him. Period. I don't care what kind of bills he pay. I don't care how much he help you make ends meet. I don't give a darn. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Men, I know we've done that in the past, but let me tell you something very improper with that thinking. And this is not a jab. This is just a real fact. And us getting new information so that we can change the way we think about things. A man that that's okay with living with a lady and shacking up with a woman in front of her kids and have no intentions on marrying her, that is a issue. That is a problem, man. Black man. That's not okay. That's not okay to help that lady live a life before her children that is not honorable. And I know we've done it. I haven't done it. I can safely say that. But I come from women that done it. Okay? And I know men, we've done it in, I'm not a man, but I know our men in our community have done it in the past. And, whatever. But I'm saying moving forward, we got to stop that behavior. Like, if you don't think that woman is good enough, like you really not taking her serious, you really not considering marrying her, you don't need to be living with her in front of her kids. And I'm just being honest. Period. Hey, that's my baby's uncle. And I think we should stop that. As black women and as black men, we have to be more mindful of the behavior that we display in front of our children, because it's not making sense for us to display some behavior and then complain about the behavior when they do it. Help it make sense. You switch up your boyfriends, but when your daughter become a teenager and she going from boyfriend to boyfriend or have this reputation in the hood where she just a little thought or whatever word they use now, like that's what we displayed before them. Oh girl, that one don't work. Go ahead, go on, get the next. And as a man, as a father, you don't marry that woman and you go from girl to girl to girl and you living at this place, you living at that place, and every once blue moon you come get your son, and then every blue moon you come get him, you living at another place with another woman. Well, that son only see that man hopping from place to place to place, and so before you know it, when he get older, now he gonna be having babies everywhere he go from place to place to place. So we have to become aware and cognizant of what we're doing in front of these little people. And one of the things we need to do with these little people is teach them how to communicate and express their emotions in healthier ways that we were not taught and we were not able to, because with them not being able to, all we're doing is festering and helping another generation of illness and just dysfunction. And we ought to be tired of that. Let them other folk do that. Let everybody else do that except us. Okay? Like, the black family has been a fight since black African descendants got off of that ship. We've been fighting to stay together. And then we went from fighting to stay together to not giving a dang about staying together. And not caring where we end up. And so that cannot be no more. Like, we have to start caring about staying together. Period. Now, this is something I'm going to say, and this is dealing with family dynamic. Because I'm not living and speaking from this imaginary place we're from. We too sick to do that. We have real things that we're doing that we need real solutions from. So that's where I'm speaking from. Real solution based. So for the man and the woman that is in a situation where the guy is just messing around and the young man ain't married to nobody and he just all around. And the woman noticed and the woman continued to be in this situation willingly. And you're a willing participant when you know he cheating on you and you stay there. Because we got to do, come on, y'all, we got to get real and we got to get better. Now, I'm about to say something that don't mean that I'm at this place and I'm mature enough to do this, because I'm not. But if it's going on, hey, let's just be real, okay? And because I'm not there, that's why I ain't doing nothing, okay? Because I ain't willing to do that. But in these situations where the woman, dealing with a man, you know he messing with other women, you have a long history with this man, and you know he been, struggling, the Bible called it whoremongering. Me personally, for the sake of everybody, mental health, and for the sake of everybody's physical health, and for the sake of family and unity and raising healthy children that know each other so they don't end up committing incest on accident, I think y'all need to go ahead and all put it all out in the open. And the reason why I say that is this, because the level of dishonesty that men have been operating with us as black women, as our black men, and that lying and that dishonesty, it has caused us black women to become bitter. It has caused us to suffer emotional hurt and emotional pain that make us not good for raising children. I ain't gonna say not good, but not good. It creates a negative impact on the rate of our mind state and our ability to raise children. So I would say this: if you are a woman and you know he doing that, you already know. The only difference is now you got him hiding and being in secret, and you're living in a delusion. And he's living in the delusion. But it would just and it's creating this perpetual environment where he constantly affirms our belief that he's no good, he's lying, he's cheating, he don't care. That's just perpetually going on, right? And we know he's cheating. When it could just be this. Look, ma'am, I don't know who's going to be the bigger one to have this conversation, the man or the woman, preferably the man. Look, Keisha, I've been with you 10 years. And out of all these 10 years, you have caught me cheating on you too many times for me to remember. And in every situation, you and I remain together. We don't never really separate. And I keep doing this thing behind your back, when really you be knowing anyway. I don't want to operate in dishonesty with you. And I don't want you no longer operating in delusion with yourself. So what I'm going to ask, see, y'all not willing to be this real. But this the thing. We doing it anyway. So let's just put it all out on the open. I love you, Keisha. I ain't going nowhere. I got these kids with you. We on and off, even though we ain't married or whatever the case is. Because most of the time this is going on with people that probably ain't married and probably with people that's married too. Okay? But this the thing. I like that girl. I've been dealing with that girl for, and if it ain't her, it's another person. So I would rather just be honest and you know about this other woman that I'm dealing with. And I would rather operate in this situation with some boundaries and some rules that's okay with you. Cause I ain't stopped. It's been 10 years. And out of them 10 years, I've been cheating on you for the whole 10 years with various women. And I'm, quite frankly, Keisha, I'm getting tired of sleeping with all these women too. I really would like to just get about the 2-3 good ones. And I can rotate. See, y'all, that, nobody want to do that. But this the thing. That's what most people doing. That's not in, if your relationship is not centered in the foundation of Christ and in the true, and you don't have a true relationship with Christ, you are that mate you married to. I'm not talking about no just going to church. I'm talking about a true relationship where you have that conviction of Christ and you have that discipline and that conviction to honor Christ. If you're not there, you more than likely falling in the other category. And so instead of walking around and creating all of these hurt, bitter experiences and hurting women and causing stress and chaos for yourself, just put it all out on the open. And just be real. Because you're doing it anyway. And women, if you're not willing to do that, then you need to not do that. And not do that mean leave the whole situation alone. And then go get yourself all the way together and operate from a place like, nah, man, I want a man that got real integrity, not for my sake, but for his own sake. Because it's only when the man have his own convictions to live right before God that he gonna live a faithful life for you anyway. So that's your other option. Keep your legs closed. Pack him up, get him out and say, I appreciate your honesty, but I won't be able to do that. In fact, but what you said and everything you said is absolutely right. And until you said that, I did not realize that that's the delusion that I was really operating in. But now hearing that come out your mouth, I really see how crazy I am and how crazy I've been acting. I really don't want to be that woman. Amen. Just shoot me my little child support. I won't even go to them people on you. Just, we'll come to an agreement on this payment that you're going to help me with. And then another thing I'm going to need you to do, sir, I'm going to need you to put some, give me the money. Or you make the payment, but I'm going to go get a life policy on these kids and on me. And you make that payment. You won't be on it, so I ain't even going to give you the opportunity to think about knocking me off. But, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we going to do this. That would be the way to do it. Because that's really what's happening. Dudes be married and messing with other women, and the girls know it. Like, what are we like? Stop! I've been there. I messed with guys and knew they was messing with women. I knew it. I messed with one guy, and I really, really knew it because he was a tennis shoe pimp. Like, you know what I'm saying? I knew what they was doing. I wasn't doing it, but I knew the situation he had going on with them. And I was all right with what he was doing with them. And I was all right with what I had with him. And for the most part, me and those females were cordial and we got along, all but one. And even that one that really didn't like me, I don't think it was because she didn't like me. It was because of, a woman and the matters of the heart. And you got this girl and she, I could deal with all these other ones because they doing the same thing I'm doing, but she ain't doing nothing. All of that stuff come into play. But, I would watch her kid, so she could go out and get some money. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are too broken and too messed up as a people to be acting this deranged. And maybe we have been suffering in so much delusion and so much derangement, if that's a word, is because we've been taking on ways that are not even natural to us as a people, as a nation of people. Like how the Jews are a nation of people and, Israelites are a nation of people, like, because everybody all right with everybody else being a nation of people, except when it comes to black people being a nation of people. To my Negropeans and my colonial people who have not been uncolonized, to all my people, it is our nature to be unified. I've seen, in my own family, like, I got another mama that my mama called her wife-in-law. I'm proud of that. And they should be too. Because guess what? When I was not at home and I was here, I still had a mama here. See what I'm saying? I call my other mama right now. Like, there is strength in family. There is strength in community. There is strength in embracing like that. But we so ignorant and we've been so colonized and ripped from our natural minds that, we don't look at that thing right. We don't. We do not look at that thing right. And as a result, it's creating a lot of mental stress, anxiety, panic, low self-esteem, bitterness, and brokenness in our family dynamic and in the relationship dynamic between woman and man. So anybody that's in those situations, consider that. Just consider it. I don't know, you and the woman, y'all come to a conclusion. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? This ain't to the real living for Christ people, because the real living for Christ people, this not a topic. But I'm talking to those of us that is those of us who minds have not been truly renewed with the ways and the functioning, because and I'm saying that I'm not gonna say Christ would be against a man who have more than one wife if he do it honorable and do it right. Hell, they had more than one wives in the Bible. Y'all live by the Bible, don't y'all? Y'all love the Bible, don't y'all? So, just do it right. Because what Christ ain't for is a liar. Is somebody who don't operate in integrity. Is a whoremonger. Is a whore. Okay? A harlot. That's what he ain't doing. So make it right. Y'all different, and it could be a tag team. See, y'all don't know how to work that thing. Okay? It could be a real tag team within women. You will have support. Hey, baby mama. That's what you call her. Hey, baby mama. Hey, wife-in-law. Look, I'm late at work, but I was wondering if you could can you go get my kids too when you pick up yours, please? And I'll pick them up. Huh? Hey, look, I'm just in the house tonight. But if you wanted a little break, I was wondering if you could send your kids over here so I could do movie nights, so the siblings could all have movie night. And then you could free yourself up and go have you a night to yourself and do what you want to do. Now, just whatever you do, don't go have no unprotected sex and bring nothing here that man gonna bring me. Huh? That's how. Or you have a night to yourself and just get your mind right and clean your house and then next week that lady do it for you. That's the way it need to be. All y'all just convert over to the nation, to the Islam. You know what I'm saying? And do it right. And y'all assign that dude. You right. You've been cheating on me all 10 years, every bit of it. And brought a baby or two up in here. So, okay, this how it's gonna be. Well, I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna be. I'm the one who been here the longest. I'm the one to wear your name. So I'm gonna be the first wife. Okay. And you could, I get week 1, she get week 2, week 3, or and then that give you, because truth be told, women be wanting to break from these men anyway. Shoot, at the way stress is, everybody needs some alone time. You know what I'm saying? Just pay these bills over here. And then it'll help with them other ones who's struggling, because now they got somebody to support in their household. And the man, all he got to do is use his check. What do he have need of? Every house he go to, he got clothes, he got food, he nurtured, he got his kids, huh? Seem like the black man dream, huh? That would help that mental health. And then your whole check, sir, is going to go to all of these women, because you're going to be dividing up and making sure each household got some support financially, and you're going to buy policies for all them women, and your name ain't on the policies, it's their name. That'll help that. And then see if he want to continue to do something. And cut him off. Put some penalty and let them know. You step outside this agreement we got. You know, we dealing with you on paper, but you step out of this agreement, we going to see mass on you. We're going to put you on child support. So you don't want to listen. We know who you going to listen to. Huh? Anyway, I've been on here way too long. I start school tomorrow, my next day. So I got some stuff I finished doing. I got one thing I need to do, and I just wanted to get on here and talk. I wanted to have a good conversation with OG Raymond. That didn't work out, but all is well. We'll be able to do that one day. But I would love for me and Raymond to get on here live and have that conversation. And really speak to this, because I think we really need to give some real actionable items that we can start implementing in the community, and not just, point out the issues, but really provide some new ways of being, of thinking, of talking, addressing, and doing. Okay? Love y'all. Have a good